guys, and then especially Levitt. We got DJ James, who's a starter for us as well. And I'd also like to thank Coach Trish for showing up. He was actually my offensive line coach in high school, and he's been a mentor for me getting into the profession. And he continued to give me sage advice today with his presentation by advising me not to fuck this up. So that's what I'm going to try and do. But just to introduce you guys to who I am. So I started my career at Fairleigh Dickinson University in New Jersey in 2012. I was there for 6 years. First 3 years, I coached D-line, outside linebackers, tight ends. In the last 3 years, I was the offensive line coach. And then I came over to UNE. Last year, 2 years ago, I coached the D-line. This past year, I started as the running backs and tight ends coach. And then, unfortunately, Coach Argast had to leave and take a leave of absence for health reasons. So I took over the offensive line as well, which a lot of times we were in 21 personnel. So there were times where I was coaching 8 out of the 11 guys, which was a double-edged sword, just because it was great to have that much control. But if anybody screwed up, it was probably my fault. So that's just a little bit about my background, and I'll start talking about some inside zone stuff. So let me grab the screen here. All right, so kind of going through inside zone and why we want to run it. All right, so first we can run it versus multiple different looks, whether it's front, stump, blitz, no matter what it is. All right, we should be able to run this play versus any of that stuff. So every defense is supposed to have some sort of gap integrity. So if we have the thought process that we're going to block every gap, we should be able to block any of that stuff. Should be. And then we can run it versus any type of different tempo. So we can run it as fast as possible versus junk looks and defense scrambling and just step to our play side gap and block it. Or we can run it slow and really define where the double teams are coming from, things like that. I said this one time to my buddy who's a coach, and he kind of still busts my balls about it. But I said that inside zone is like a blank canvas. Like anything that you want to put on top of inside zone, you can run it to a tight end. You can run away from a tight end. You can run split zone. You can insert the fullback on a read or whatever it might be. You can run RPOs, reading the linebackers, reading safeties, and unlimited different route combinations on top of that stuff. So I think it's a ability where you can just throw inside zone and then put whatever you want, dictated based off what your personnel is or whatever your strengths are as an offense. And then lastly, it is a foundational play. I've been fortunate enough where the last 2 teams I was with, this was the first play that we were able to install. And, I think that everything that we do as an offensive line is all built on top of inside zone. So I think there are a lot of correlations between what we do in inside zone and what we do in slide protection. So I think that I can build gap schemes on top of all the coaching points that we make on top of inside zone as well. So again, it's a very foundational play for us. Just a snapshot as far as what we did. So we ran 100 times. And again, this isn't to show you how great our numbers are, just to give you kind of an idea of how often and how we can run it. 75 times we ran it, to an open side. 25 times we ran to a tight end. Average 4.7. Whether it was run or pass, we ran it 79 times and passed it 22. When we ran it, it was 4.46. Probably like that to be a little bit higher to 5, but again, we were efficient, running this play. All the ball carriers that had it versus 3 down or 4 down, again, we should be able to run this versus any type of front or stunt, doesn't matter. All the personnels that we ran it out of, 10, 20 with a true fullback, 21, 11. So again, being able to run this in any different formation versus any type of look is essentially what this play is about. When we're structuring our run plays, they're going to fit into 3 different categories. They're either going to fit into a zone scheme, a gap scheme, or a man scheme. And each of them are going to have their own individual standard operating procedure for any of those schemes. So today we're focused on inside zone. So for any zone play, whether it's inside zone, outside zone, mid zone, split zone, whatever zone you can think of, we're going to do 3 things. We're going to step with our play side foot, we're going to block play side gap, and we're going to block the play side number. And again, that could change based off a number of different things, like in terms of what your aim point is, but we're always going to do those 3 things. So I tell freshmen on their first day, hey, as long as we do these 3 things, we'll clean up everything else. So I think I have about 20 more slides here. All that stuff that we're going to go over doesn't matter unless we do these three things. And then just some of the coaching points on top of it. We want to match the path of the back. So on inside zone, we're stepping vertical. So our offensive line needs to step and get vertical. On an outside zone, we're trying to stretch and puncture the line to look to stretch and puncture. Our aiming points are always play side number. The one caveat on an inside zone is the play side tackle. We've changed that a little bit. And then we need to work on, and again, we're going to cover all this stuff, is covered or uncovered pre-snap, what our double teams are and how we react post-snap, our declarations defining who we're blocking, and then if we ever need to redeclare any of the fronts. So our pre-snap mentality, and this is for any play, basically our routine as far as when we get the play call and what our thought process is first, what is my responsibility? So for inside zone, play side foot, play side gap, play side number. And next is, where's the point of attack? So for our inside zone, it's the play side leg of the center. So it's a very tight aiming point. So again, our aiming points on defenders should be tight as well. We need to determine, do I have help? Am I working in a combination with another offensive lineman, or am I solo? And again, that'll change how I block the defender. What is the defender's alignment? Is he wide? Is he tight? Again, that'll change. All these things, point of attack, whether or not I have help, and the defender's alignment, will all determine what my aiming point is. And how we define our aiming points. So we have 5 different aiming points here. So if we're looking at this picture, like I'm a right guard, and this is a 3 technique. 1 is outside the near number. 2 is inside the near number. We have the midline, which is that dotted line there. 3 is inside the play sign number, and 4 is outside the play sign number. Now, these are very specific, and again, this enables the guys to be able to visualize where they need to get to. So this is, when we're talking about an inside zone, it's where my nose needs to get to, and that'll dictate how my feet work. So again, going back to our pre-snap mentality, first we need to determine what our point of attack is. So we already determined that's a tight aiming point, and that we're aiming for the play side number. That's my responsibility. So really we're looking at kind of this side of the defender and how I attack it with a tight aiming point. We're really looking between a 3 and the midline. If I have help, I can get wider out to a 3 and get my nose out to a 3, either trying to stretch the defender horizontally and allowing the backside guy or the guy that I'm working in combination with to insert himself into the double team. If I don't have help, now I'm aiming for the midline. Now I want to tighten up my aiming point even more. And then the one time that we'll use an inside aiming point is really with a tackle versus a wide D end on the front side. That's really the one rule breaker there. But these aiming points allow us to efficiently communicate to the guys, and then also allows them to get there with their footwork. So again, we'll rep each steps and things like that. But again, I'm not coaching, all right, hey, we're going to use a bucket step on this play versus this technique. We're going to use a lateral step with this technique and this play, angle drive, whatever it might be. Coach Val uses a terminology with the receivers is like basketball, get to the rim. So I don't care how you get to the rim, just get there. So again, if my aim point's a 3, I don't care if you're using a bucket step or a lateral step, like get to the rim, get to your aim point. So those are kind of how we'll build it. So really on inside zone, we're really talking about the midline or a 3, depending on whether or not I have help. So now our operation when we get to the line of scrimmage, so we're going to walk up to the line. The center is going to communicate whether it's 3 down, 4 down, or 5 down. He's going to ID the point, and I'll go over how we ID that, and they'll call a double team. Our double teams, which is everyone has their own system. It doesn't matter. Ours is cog tag toy to the front side, 1, 2, 3 to the back side. If it was inside zone to the left, all that would flip. So cog tag toy would now be the left side. And then double teams, how we develop the double teams. So first, it's pre-snap. So we need to determine whether we're covered front side, covered back side, or uncovered. If we are covered front side, we're going to attack our aim point. If we're covered back side, we're going to work at technique, and we'll go through each one of those. And then if we're uncovered, we're going to push the double team front side. And that means if a defender is intersecting the framework of my body, covered back side, front side, or uncovered. So that all mentality happens pre-snap. Then we have our color rules. Basically, do defenders move post-snap? So am I getting color away, color to, or color lingers? And we'll explain what that is. And then finally, the finish, right? We want to be hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, near knee and shoulder into the double team with that high knee. And then eventually we want to finish at the play side number. All right, so now going more into detail about the covered and uncovered stuff. So in this picture, if we're running inside zone on the right, the guard here is covered on the front side with a B-gap defender. The center is uncovered, so he's going to push the double team to the front side with that cog call. Now that allows the guard to push out to a 3 on his aiming point. Again, we're either going to stretch the 3 technique out wider, or if he falls off inside, now we're going to have the center help us out, and then he's going to work up for the linebacker. So basically kind of our color rules, right? If we have color away, the guard will collect, and then the center's reading color away and will climb for the linebacker. The center gets color 2. Now the guard's getting color away. Okay, he'll work up for the linebacker. And then kind of we'll work 2 techniques versus this color lingers. And again, I'll show you some film so have a better understanding of what that means. But we either clean color, meaning that some color showing this A gap, and the center will just define where the D-line's going to, whether they're using some sort of lazy technique, or sometimes they'll peek in the backfield, not really defining, and define this guy as a B-gap defender and push this guy into B-gap before climbing. That happens a lot on inside zone. Or we'll scoop it, meaning the guard or the center will now take over the block and push the guard off. That'll happen mostly on outside zone. That'll happen a little bit on inside zone. But again, those are kind of 2 ways that we can defeat that. So here is kind of color lingers. We're watching the right guard and the center here block this nose tackle. So basically, if I can get this to stop at the right moment. Okay, right now, like he's not defining what gap he's like. He's not slaying in this A gap. He's not really slaying in this A gap. Where is he going? The center's now at the play side number. He's going to stay on it until he feels the guard bump him off, and now the center can now work up for the linebacker. So that's kind of what our scoop is. And now clean color. Watch the right guard and center here. So how this play develops. Okay, if I can stop it at the right moment. So right now, this guy's playing into the guard. Right? Is this guy slanting into B gap? Is he an A gap defender? Who knows? So the center's going to clean color, define that this guy's a B gap defender now. All right, so now he'll climb to the point. And again, they'll happen in a number of different scenarios, whether these guys are 2 gapping or whether they're just being lazy or if they're being undisciplined, whatever it might be. So those are 2 ways that we can combat that. So that's covered front side and uncovered. The other one we'll have is covered backside. And our technique will be dictated based off of whatever the linebacker's alignment is. So this will happen a lot with a frontside guard with a 2-eye. So again, we'd make another cog call. Center's covered front side, he's covered backside. Okay, and then the 4 techniques that we'll use is either over, which means that the linebacker is behind the double team. So either we'll angle this double team back to the linebacker or try and work vertically and get the center off, or whoever the backside guy is in the combination. A lift is if the linebacker is stacked over this guy. So again, we'll truly work vertically to that guy and be an ass-kicking double team. All right, stab, which is a ricochet. Basically, he's going to stab with his near shoulder and then work up right now. This is where he's kind of the linebacker shaded on the lineman. Or we'll work a hand check if he's really plussed over. So a few examples. So this is the front side center and guard. Okay, the linebacker is backside. All right, so they're going to angle this double team back towards the linebacker. So right there, the guard is angling back. Again, if I was coaching this guy, obviously we want his near knee up. Again, these guys are using opposite forces against each other. They probably both played in the Super Bowl, so what do I know? But the mentality of angling back towards the linebacker is what we're trying to get to in this case. All right, here's a stab. Okay, linebacker is shaded over the guard. All right, so now he's going to pick it up, put it down with his play side foot. Okay, he's going to stab with his shoulder and then ricochet back off onto the linebacker. Boom, boom, and then stab off. Give enough time for the backside guy to get over to the combo, but also be able to get into a good fit on the linebacker. So now we just watched this clip before, but now we're watching the backside double team. So now the left guard in this picture will pick it up, put it down, stab with that left shoulder, and then work up, give enough time for the tackle to work his way over. So those are kind of our techniques. And then lastly, hand check. So in this picture, we'd point 54 as the frontside linebacker. This is the only double team on the play. All right, with this guy really plus over, the center will hand check. Boom, so there's the hand check, just making sure it's a firm punch, making sure that the guard has enough time to get over there. And then again, he'll work up to his place our linebacker, and there we go. And then a lift is, again, your traditional double lift to linebacker. So in our declarations, I mentioned this a little bit. On inside zone, we will call what we say zero declared, meaning, zero is a head-up technique to the center. So we'll define the point as the first linebacker past the center. So in all these pictures, if we run inside zone on the right, we would mic the mic. If these, these gray X's, whether this is a outside linebacker into the box or a safety rolling into the box, we're never going to push out to those guys. We're going to control that linebacker with either a tight end or a throw, whether it's some sort of pre-snap throw. Box declared we won't use a lot on inside zone. The only time we'll really use it is verse 3 down, and we'll kind of cover that. And then position declared is more for any of our man schemes. All right. And then very quickly, we have read declarations. Basically, if the box moves, you can either push the point out. So again, if these guys motion back in the box, if we're on inside zone to the left, we can say push, 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 and they'll push it from the mic to the Sam. Back is the exact opposite. We can use slash calls if we're anticipating any type of D-line movement. Often this will happen if there's a linebacker stacked over a B-gap defender or wider. Right, somebody's got to play A-gap, so we can make a slash call. And then if we make an alert call, we're saying that there's going to be both D-line movement and we're pushing the point. Again, we won't use this a lot in inside zone just because we're not pushing out to anybody. We're going to control our linebackers with different stuff, but just some tools in our toolbox. All right, so again, covered a lot of stuff there. All right, and somebody drew up this depiction for me as far as what your priority is. So again, the foundational play is standard operating procedures. Play side foot, play side gap, play side number. All this other shit that we went over doesn't mean anything unless we do those three things. All this stuff up here just makes it a better play. Understanding if we're covered and uncovered and being able to utilize more aggressive angles and things like that makes it a better play. Communicating double teams and understanding not leaving the center solo on a 2-eye, it makes it a better play. Sometimes that's contradicting having the guard block a 2-eye but have his eyes to A-gap and block A-gap, right? Or block B-gap, I should say. That's a little contradicting, but it makes it a better play. Again, if the guard avoided the 2-eye and just blocked B-gap, we still have a decent play. The center's still going to work his ass off to block the 2-eye, but it just makes it a better play. And then point declarations, again, could the lineman just step to the play side gap and climb and stay on their track? Yes, but again, linebackers are going to move. They're going to fit and fall back. We're going to have 4-3 boxes, 4-2 boxes, 4-1 boxes, and how do we ensure that we get 5 guys blocking 5 guys? Again, all this stuff makes it a better play, but all this stuff doesn't matter unless we step play side foot, play side gap, play side number. So now I'll kind of get to the good stuff and watch the film. So again, quickly, kind of how we'll fit it up in the drawing, right? We'll point the first linebacker past the center. Front side double team will work for the point, back side double team for -1. And then again, everyone's blocking play side gap. All right, 3 down's really the only different one, right? Still pointing the first linebacker past center, guards uncovered, tag to the point. 1 is to be the -1. Really, the only difference is the backside tackle will now sift. And basically, is it a slant by the D end or is the will falling in the box and he'll just take whoever the B-gap defender is. And, we can add a read to it. Okay, but here, all right, going through some of our plays. Again, there's going to be good, bad, and ugly and all this stuff. But we'll walk up to the line, 4 down, 21's the point. Guard is covered on the backside, all right, with the 2-eye, so we'd make a cog call. This is a great split by the tackle, but with no help inside, wide defender, he's now going to just attack that near number. Okay, so these guys are going to work up for the point. We'd make a 2 call back here that would work up for 9, who's the -1 linebacker. All right, now how this play ends up working out is the center's view here. Okay, he gets color away. The right guard's getting color too, so the guard collects. Center's now going to work up for the point. He's at the near number. That's a good fit. The left guard in this picture is a freshman who probably doesn't know his ass from his elbow, playing one of the best teams in the conference, just sees color, again, play side gap, play side foot, play side number, and picks it up, which is fine. Unfortunately, we don't end up blocking number 9 because he wasn't in the center's count. All right, but we're giving ourselves a chance. We're blocking the first level. We're blocking the line of scrimmage, all right, and allowing our back to go make a play. Number 9, who we didn't have blocking, ends up falling on his face anyways. But it's a good depiction that, yes, we're trying to do all this stuff pre-snap and communicate, but when in doubt, just follow your standard operating procedures and we'll end up with a good play. Okay, walk up line, 4 down, 4 down. 43 is the point, 43 is the point. Center is uncovered. All right, cog. He'll work to 43. Tackle can now just lead drive into this guy. This tight alignment. Okay, with no help inside, he just vertically step with this outside foot. Backside double teams now working for the -1 linebacker. See how this play works out. All right, so from the guard's perspective, right guard, he gets color away. Center collects. He should look to climb right now. Again, he can be a little bit faster there. All right. The right tackle is a string beam freshman who's going to be a pretty good player once he figures it out. He's going to get a little push, but again, the fit is pretty good, right? Again, staying at that near number. Okay, now he's just got to bring some more physicality and some more weight to it. And again, shit's going to happen. All right. So again, the center thinks that the guard's behind him. He's kicking the shit out of the other guy because he got color too. All right. So he's just going to collect color. All right. But again, the center does a pretty good job, pretty headsy play, stays on it, gives our back a chance. And again, our backs, it's important for these guys to understand their point of attack as well. So this is a good job by the running back of pushing his aiming point. All right. So he wants to push the aiming point for as long as possible. And then if nothing shows up, okay, kind of round off on the front edge and stay there. Again, another great thing about this play is, on power and ISO, we're defining where the gap is, and it's important to create movement here. Again, this ball can hit C gap to C gap. So, but again, a good job by the back and going to hammer safeties, which is always fun. Okay, and then another play here. So again, we'd walk up the line, 4 down, 4 down. 43 is the point. All right, first linebacker past the center. Frontside double team is going to work there. Any tight end is going to work for a +1 linebacker, which is 51 in this picture. So that's who he's responsible for. Guard is uncovered, so he should be tagging to 43. Center solo. Backside double teams a 2. So now they bring this crazy nonsense. So the right guard here. Okay, move this here a little further. All right, right guard gets color 2 and collects. All right, the center is getting color away, so he's going to work vertically to the point. All right, left guard, color away. Again, he can probably chip this guy a little bit more, kind of turn this into a covered backside post snap. All right, but again, play side foot, play side number will get a good chance there. So he ends up blocking the -1 linebacker. Okay, and then the tackle gets color 2, so we pick everybody up. Okay, we're able to create a seam. Center does a good job. Okay, near knee, near shoulder, able to peel this guy out of there. Okay, and then that's where our seam happens. Okay, 3-3 stack. We didn't cover this. It doesn't matter. We'll just follow our rules. So first linebacker past the center, not head up. So that'd be this guy. Guards uncovered, tag, frontside double team to the point. Backside double team is a 1 call to the -1. Backside double team with the center, or excuse me, the tackle and tight end will be a 3, which will be for the -2 linebacker. Okay. So again, front side guard and tackle, right guard step, and should climb right now, right? He's probably a little bit slow, but a good job out of the tackle. He knows he's got help behind him. Takes a good lateral step, right? He's probably at the midline or close to it. And this D-line now hops outside, takes this extra step to take his gap integrity, which is just creating wider seams, all right? We're trying to create a little bit of horizontal stretch on this vertical play to create seams. On the 1 double team between the center and left guard, this is good. Left guard, is this guy in A gap? Is he, which side of the center is this guy on? I don't know. I'm going to clean color, define it, okay, and then work up for the -1, cover this guy up. Okay, and then backside double team, he's just going to step, climb. There's the -2. And again, if we were staying on our tracks and doing whatever, this guy might think that this guy's, on my track. But again, we end up defining it and we're good to go. Again, talking about the backs, trusting it. So here, this is the play side leg of the center, okay, which is basically just inside the hash. We watch how this play develops. Okay, this is just inside the hash. This is his aiming point, right? If he just stays on this, we're going to crease this thing. Okay, again, he ends up making a tough 11-yard run, which is decent, but should have been an easy 20-yard run. So again, those guys got to trust it and press their aiming point for as long as possible. Okay, any tight end is going to take the +1 linebacker, right? So again, 4 down. This will be our point. First linebacker past the center. Tight end takes any +1. All right, with a 6-eye, he's covered backside, so we can make a toy call. All right, now we have Cog for the point, backside double team for the -1 linebacker. All right, the hit player is going to take any backside C-gap defender. All right, so again, the front side tackle can probably get out a little bit wider knowing that he has help. All right, but again, still able to create some horizontal stretch. All right, the left guard, all right, again, should know that he has help inside. He can probably get out wider. All right, again, if this guy lingers or slants inside, the center is behind him. All right, or hopefully he hops outside and creates more stretch. Right here, the guard just blocks that near number and kind of gets stonewalled right at that spot. Again, now that condenses this whole area here. Again, if we could stretch this guy out an extra foot, that's just going to make it easier for the running back. But center step, nothing there. Climb right now. Again, same thing with the backside tackle. Like he could have read this as color lingers, clean this over, right? Force this guy into B gap, and the running back just would have cut back there. He opts not to, right? Which is fine. Guard stays on the play side number. That's where the ball ends up hitting. Now we just got to get better finish out of the linebacker. Okay. All right. So now we got inside zone to the left. So again, this is our point. Center's uncovered. Cog to here. 2 to the -1 linebacker. All right. 73, the left tackle knows he doesn't have help inside, so we can just stay on that inside number. All right. Again, still able to create some horizontal stretch there. All right. Center, here we go. All right. So this is a 2 or a 3, it doesn't matter. But again, now this guy's just peeking in the backfield. He's not slanting into A gap. He's not really playing a gap here. All right, so we can either scoop this up to linebacker. Center here has color. He's going to clean color. All right, force that guy into B gap, and then he's going to work up for the point. There's color. Get in the B gap where you belong. Okay, and then I'm going to go pick up the linebacker. Again, the right tackle. Got to hit the weight room a little bit, but again, he gets color away. Looks to collect this other guy. Again, can't really get squeezed in the hole. But again, same thing. The running back's got to do a little bit better job pressing his aiming point. Right, he might be able to hop through here or get behind the guard in front of the tackle. Okay, opts and sees space here, so takes it. All right, but again, as soon as possible, he's got to get back vertical. All right, so different than the other play where he rolled off. Okay, here, right out of the mesh, he's already pointing to B gap. He should press this for another 2 steps before he makes that cut. Again, that's 5 yards when we're backed up on first down. Or complain about it, but that's what we do. Okay. All right, so here, all right, we're on inside zone to the right. 43 is our point. Tight end is going to take any +1. All right, center's uncovered. Cog to 43. All right, color goes away. So again, this is a good job by the right tackle. So he gets color away. He stays on it, right? This turns into a covered backside post snap. So he should stay on this till he feels the guard. Okay, but then again, we're blocking play side gap, comes off the late, all right, which is good. So stays on it. This becomes a tag post snap, all right, and then ends up blocking C gap, staying with the standard operating procedure. All right, this is a good job out of the center as well. Again, if he just stays on his track, he might end up on the safety out here. All right, this 43 is looking to fall back, fit the exchange of the running back. All right, luckily the center recognizes it, blocks back, and now he's at the near number or the play side number where we initially wanted to get to. Okay, now what we got to get the backside tackle to understand is this guy's accounted for, so now we can go block 57. The other thing we can recognize is this is a linebacker who's stacked or wider than a B gap defender. Somebody's got to be here in A gap, so we should make a slash call. He might be able to collect 93 there, trying to slant the B gap, and then put our fullback on whoever ends up becoming the C gap defender. He doesn't opt to do that. All right, the fullback still picks up 93. Now he should look to collect 57 here. Unfortunately, he stays on his track, which is standard operating procedure. As he sees color, that's fine. But unfortunately, right now we got 2 forces working against each other. Okay, he ends up pushing the center back into that where that crease end up opening up. But again, 2nd and 9, and we get 5 yards. Tough to complain about. All right. So now we're running inside zone to the left. 43 is our point. 51 is a +1. Tight end owns any +1 linebacker. Backside double teams working for 57, who's the -1 linebacker. All right. This tackle knows he doesn't have any help behind him, so he can take a shorter step. He gets color away, again, stays on it. Now he's covered backside post-snap, so we'll stay on until the guard gets there. Again, keeping his eyes to his gap. Rule number 1 is play side gap. All right, and then he comes off late. Again, being able to block, have your body and your eyes in 2 different places. This is a good depiction of how we end up picking that up. Again, we should be able to run this first inning. Stump, blitz, front, doesn't matter. All right, center steps to the 2. Color goes away, step and climb for 43. All right. Right guard does a good job. This guy's trying to slant. He cuts this guy off, which is good. All right. Right tackle gets color away, climb right now. All right. And he's just got to do a better job finishing on the linebacker. All right. Again, we want more of this finish here by the right guard. That's more what we're looking for. All right. So here they end up reestablishing the box, all right, with the motion. So this is where we might be able to utilize a push call and push out the 21 over here with them reestablishing the box. All right, we don't end up getting there, which is fine. 32 might have stayed there as long as we're all wrong, we're all right. But this is a great fit on the double team. Eyes are below the lineman's eyes, hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder. Okay, and then they end up driving this guy right into the 32, who was the initial point. They don't even have to block that guy. So again, this is more of a lift double team with this guy stacked over this guy. Again, unfortunately, we don't count for 21. Again, if we want to push out to there, we might be able to get there, but that's how it ended up working out. Okay, so 57 is our point. Cog. Color comes to the center. All right, so the right guard should now just climb right now. Right tackle knows he doesn't have any help behind him, so he can stay on that near number. Again, he shouldn't just pivot open like this. He should lead driving in that near number. All right, and again, both guards here. All right, when these guys go away, you'd like these guys to drive with their backside foot, drive through this guy with their backside foot. This is a tough block by the center. This is a tough block by the tackle. But again, when in doubt, play side foot, play side gap. We end up getting hats on hats, and we end up with a good play. But again, being able to get into our double teams and all this other stuff makes it a better play. Unfortunately, we don't get to the play side number here by the tackle. Again, his head should be on the play side number. Okay, and ends up getting squeezed in the hole. Again, we still have a crease right there. Unfortunately, I think the back kind of tripped there. But again, following just our rules puts us in a good position. All right. 3 down, doesn't matter. 44 is the first linebacker past the center. Guards uncovered. Tag to 44. 1 to 9. And here's our sift on the backside. So now the tackle will sift between either this guy spiking in B gap or the will linebacker who's out of the picture falling into the box and blocking, being the B gap defender. All right, but good look at this backside. Okay, is the nose, is which A gap is he in? Who knows? Guard's going to clean color and then work up for the -1 linebacker. All right, front side guard, step, nothing there, climb right now. This is a little bit better footwork out of the tackle. Okay, he gets a wider first step knowing that he has help inside. All right, again, he just can't get squeezed and be looking at the opposite end zone by the end of this play. Right, he's going to be a little bit tougher there. All right, a good look by the backside tackle, stepping to his gap, play side foot, play side gap. Okay, again, now he just ends up collecting this guy. Okay, and we're good to go. That's how we pick all that up. Okay, and so this is back at FDU, and again, we coached up the front side tackle a little bit differently, so we weren't saying the near number. If he didn't have help behind him, we were saying the midline, which I don't know what D-line guys are coaching, but we kept getting this guy falling off into B gap and making a play behind the line of scrimmage and kill us. So again, we kind of changed that up a little bit, but this was initially what we were trying to do, right? This is a great fit in terms of getting to the midline. Here's our cog working up for 5. All right, and again, either we're going to get stretch out of this guy, okay, which is just going to open up B gap, okay, or hopefully this guy falls off inside. Again, 90 is supposed to be the C gap defender. I don't know where he's going, but he's trying to fall into B gap, and that's where the ball hits and hits for a big gain. So I don't know what these D-line guys are being taught, but sometimes they're out of their gaps, which drives me crazy. All right, but this is also a good look here. All right, so backside 2 double teams working for the -1 who's out of the picture. All right, this guy stops and is about to go turn to this guy, but again sees color in his gap, right? react, play side foot, play side gap, play side number, able to collect it. And again, as long as we get a good fit, we're good to go. All right, so 10's our point. All right, guards covered backside, so we cog to there. Again, no help inside. We want to have a little bit tighter of an aiming point. So again, this is a great fit, right? We're at the midline. Okay, and this is what we want to happen is that this guy takes his extra hop outside. So again, which is now creating wider creases here. Again, trying to create a little bit of horizontal stretch on a vertical play. Okay, here we probably should have got some sort of slash call with a linebacker who's stacked over a B-gap defender or wider. These guys are both trying to reduce, but instead they define it as a 2 double team. We're working back. Again, working that back technique so we can angle back towards that linebacker. So again, this guard does a great job, again, near knee, near shoulder into the double team and leaning back into this guy, knowing this is the linebacker that we're doubling back to, is able to stay on long enough, and that's where the crease ends up happening. All right, so again, cog on the front side, here's your point, here's your -1. All right, again, this is a good fit, right? We got our nose to the play side number, able to create a little bit of stretch there. All right, the center reads, color away, right guard collects, center climbs. All right, backside double team. Again, the center, or excuse me, the left tackle could define this as color lingers and tried to clean color before working up. Terms that the guard has it, which again, guards at the play side number. We're in a good fit there. Okay, and then we have enough creases to go hit one. All right, so again, 40 is your point. All right, again, same thing. Should have made a slash call. Again, it's never perfect. All right, they don't end up moving the D line there. Right, but again, now this double team is going to work back for 40. All right, so again, the left guard in this picture can now angle his double team back there, making this a real solid double team where we can create a crease. You know, unfortunately, again, he's got to get a little bit better base so he doesn't get squeezed down, but that's the right idea. Again, near foot, near shoulder, in the double team, and try and angle this thing back to his backside linebacker. Again, decent fit out of the front side cog here. Again, step with my play side foot, drive with that backside knee. Okay, again, we want to be a little bit closer hip to hip so this guy doesn't split the double team. But again, they stay on up to the linebacker. And the running back does a good job of BYOB and being his own blocker. So again, he ends up squeezing this backside A gap. Okay, this linebacker hops inside. Okay, and then he ends up bouncing back outside and giving our double team a chance. All right, so 28, there's our point. Okay, there's our cog call. All right, we'd like the right guard to step with his right foot first, but again, this is a good fit. You know, maybe not bringing that right arm. Again, this is the type of shit that drives you crazy on this play is this front side double team. Again, now at UNE, you know, we'd end up just blocking that one and leaving that guy out there. Here, we're trying to create some stretch. Again, the tackle's footwork's all over the place, but again, that guy falls off in the B gap and ends up making the play. Again, that guy's a C gap defender. I don't know what the hell that guy's doing. He's just looking in the backfield trying to make a play. All right, but luckily enough, our back ends up making a play for us. All right, backside double team is same thing, right? This is behind the double team, so now the left guard can angle back into the double team. Again, got to stay a little bit more balanced, but again, able to create enough stretch where our back can make a play, enough of a crease. And again, this is more kind of the finish that we want to get out of some of these guys. All right, is that a hold? Is it not a hold? They didn't call it, so I don't think it's a hold. All right, so some of our 3-down adjustments, kind of we're going to get into now, right? So we talked about 0 declared as the first linebacker past the center. All right, in 3-down into the boundary, it automatically becomes a box declared play, meaning that we're going to point the widest linebacker in the box. So in this case, will be this guy. So the reason why we do that in 3-down into the boundary, very specific, but we kind of need to do it is, again, if we're in the 3-by-1, typically we control a will outside linebacker with some sort of speed out here. Again, this guy can play underneath the speed out and he can play B gap. Okay, if for whatever reason we were in a 2-by-2 alignment, okay, and we end up having this cat out here, again, that guy can play over number 2, take away the bubble, pre-snap, and then still fall inside and either play B gap or C gap. So we can't control that guy with a throw. So In these scenarios, we will push the point out to this guy. So again, point is where the front side double team's going to, guards uncovered, tag, all right, to the point, backside double team's working for -1, all right, and then the tackle is going to work for -2. All right, and that's how we're going to find it. So here, the tackle now takes a real big lateral step, knowing he's got help behind him, okay, which again, now this DN takes a big wide step outside, which just creates more horizontal stretch on a vertical play. Again, you like to see better pad level out of left guard, but color goes away, climb for the point. Center, color goes away, climb for -1. All right, the right guard, color 2. I'm at the play side number, stay on it. All right, the tackle's reading the same thing, right? Play side gap, play side number. All right, he's got somebody in his play side gap, so he stays on it. You know, we'd like somebody to get off on this linebacker. All right, but again, those guys are following their standard operating procedures. We're giving our back a chance. Okay, and we end up hitting one. Again, this is one of my favorite formations with, 2x2 with 2 tight ends. You know, we don't need to get into that. But 48 is the point. First linebacker passes center. Tight end will take any +1. All right, cog here. All right, center's uncovered. Tight aiming point by the front side tackle. All right, backside double teams at 2. All right, we should be able to lock on the backside tight end. We opted not to and keep it as a read. All right, but on the front side, left tackle, all right, ends up getting into the midline. Again, we're not teaching these guys to, be airplanes and have their hands out wide like that. But again, got to his aim point, created enough stretch, should work vertically. All right. The left guard gets color 2, collects, center gets color away. All right, and then climbs for the for the point. Right guard, color 2, collects. All right, and the right tackle gets color away, works up for the -1. But one other thing that I like about this this play is we talk about matching the path of the back. If we watch the right tackle and the running back here, like these guys look like synchronized swimmers. Like those guys are on the exact same path there, and that's what we're looking for when we're talking about matching the path of the back. Those guys should look exactly the same. All right. He was first linebacker past the center. Guards uncovered, tag to here. Okay, 1 backside. All right, these guys should really work back for this guy, but again, stick with the standard operating procedures. All right, guard gets color away. Again, this is a 4 technique here, so again, he doesn't have to take a big step, but again, gets a good enough stretch. All right, he gets color away up for the point. All right, center gets color 2, collects. Guard gets color away, he's there. So again, we don't need the tackle there. He can now peel back on the -2 linebacker. Or we could have made a 3 call and double team this and not leave the, converted quarterback there alone on an all conference at the end. But again, he's following the standard operating procedures and get a good enough play out of it. All right, so those are all our, full zone plays. We can also run all RPOs on top of this. And basically, on our normal inside zone, we're controlling the backside SEAGAT defender with either a fullback, a tight end, or a read. All right, when we RPO, all we're doing is changing who that defender is to the -1 linebacker, which now that means that the line now has to take whoever the SEAGAT defender is, and we're just exchanging. All right. On the backside, all these plays are inside zone to the right. On the backside, these guys make a lock call, and they're in a man-to-man scenario. So talking about how this is a foundational play, like to me, this is half man, half slide protection. All right, this is a 3-man slide. Okay, this is the man side. This is 3-man slide, man side. 4-man slide, man side. All right, and same scenario, right? Man side's got to pass off twist, just like in pass protection. If the nose goes across the center, he's now got to break the slide, like in slide protection. To me, this is, I shouldn't really need to coach up the responsibilities of a slide protection. I just need to coach up the technique, right? We're either run blocking or pass setting. But the other technique is that we're on the man side. All right, so here, all right, we're running inside zone to the left. All right, and we're going to read this linebacker. So these 2 guys make a lock call. This tackle is going to pick it up, put it down with his left foot. Again, play side foot, play side number. All right, to protect against any type of inside slant, and then he's just going to block out. Again, this is the guy's play side number. It's inside zone to the left. Guard just normal zone here, but last man on the slide, man-to-man. Okay, again, everything is the same on the front side. This is the point. Center's uncovered, cog. All right, the guard can get a little bit wider. All right, knowing that he's got help. So again, this is a lot better fit than the last one that I criticized him on, right? So this is a good wide step, a little bit wider. Again, that guy hops out just a little bit. All right, and again, good aiming point out of the left tackle, wide technique, no help inside. Again, you like him to be a little bit more efficient with his footwork there. But again, we're in a good aiming point. We're at that near number. Okay, we keep that guy in C gap. All right. So a few things on this play is, again, we're not making any push calls here. So again, they end up blitzing this linebacker. All right, we're never going to block out to that guy. So again, if this guy end up walking up pre-snap, we're going to throw bubble. All right, if they're going to go any type of zone pressure, all right, this guy will push crack, and that's how we'll handle that. Okay, or if they're going to roll over there, we should have some sort of bubble access over here, or if it's 3-by-1, we'll end up getting cover one, and we'll throw one-on-one, whatever it is. But we can control this guy with a throw. Okay, here he comes from depth, which is fine. We don't end up throwing the bubble, but because he comes from so far away, we're going to beat this guy with the aiming point of the bat. Because that's so tight, we'll see how, like, this guy's coming from so far away. If we would have handed this ball off, all right, this guy's still, whatever, 7-10 yards away from this guy. So, again, we're not going to account for that guy. All right, here, everything's still the same. These guys are going to pick it up, put it down with their inside foot, and then block out. Okay, this is still your point, still your cloud calls. Everything's still the same. All right, we get color 2 here. Now the guard gets color away. So once this happens, all right, it should be like a 2-man exchange. Now we should turn this into a tag post-snap, and the guard and the tackle should now vertically double-team this up to this linebacker. And again, we're trying to protect the front side of the play. All right, we don't need this guy chasing out to any type of linebackers. And even if we did, we'd end up leaving the front side linebacker unblocked, which is not what we want to happen. We're trying to protect the front side of the play. Okay, inside zone to the left. 32 is your point, right? There's no linebacker outside. So again, we're going to work this back double team where we're going to angle back to 32. Here's our read key. All right, again, these guys are going to pick it up, put it down with their inside foot, block play side number, pick it up, put it down, block play side number, and then those guys are man-to-man. So again, these are good fits out of these two guys. You can see he's angling back towards this guy. And again, we're in a 3-by-1 set, and 35 there's one corner out here. And this DN jab steps and works back inside the B gap. Like, what are we doing? All right. But anyways, our aiming point allows us to better protect ourselves against this. So this tackle is aiming for the near number, wide technique, no help inside, and is at least able to redirect and stay on it. And lo and behold, that's where it hits. So maybe 35 should have stayed in C gap where he belongs. All right, now we're reading this guy. All right, pick it up, put it down. He's going to be locked on. Okay, he just adds on to the normal inside zone. Here's your point, cog. And this is a good job of understanding like the last man on the slide type of deal. So the right guard gets color away. All right, good job by the center of recognizing and adjusting his path based off the linebacker. All right, so he's able to collect. And again, the right guard recognizes it late, but that's the point. That's who we said we're responsible for. He breaks the slide and gives us just enough of a chance to hit a crease. And again, that's the safety making the play. Anytime we're one-on-one with the safety, we'll take it. But again, that's half main, half slide protection right there. All right, here, okay, we're reading 44. Okay, so he should be locked on, I think. Okay, so he ends up blocking the wrong guy, which is, again, there's good, bad, and ugly. All right, this is our point here. All right, but again, good double team. Okay, again, forcing this guy to actually, this isn't a read. I don't know why this ended up in here. We're reading 6. All right, so we end up pointing 9, which is fine. Backside double team will work for 44. The tackle can now sift. All right, but again, he's got no one to sift to. These guys are working back to 44, so they get a real hard double team. And again, we're able to create enough movement and push, and that was pretty good. Okay, so here we're reading 35. All right, Center can make a one call here or a cog, doesn't really matter. Working to 45 there, he makes a cog. All right, the guard gets color away, and again, this is good. This is how we want these fits to happen, right? This looks like this guy was a 2-eye pre-snap, and that's exactly how it should look. All right, and then again, keeping his eyes place like that. Now we turn that into a true cog. Okay, now he works up for a linebacker, and we're able to block all that up. All right, the guard stays on it, and again, tackle stays inside number. All right, just to stop that guy from making an inside move or whatever it is. All right, and then any RPO guys, one of the things that we kind of screwed up about this play is this guy's alignment's too tight, right? This is the guy that we're trying to read. So this guy should probably be out a little bit wider. Again, this guy can now play B gap and play the stick route. Unfortunately, we don't block that guy, and this is where the ball should end up. So got to fix that guy's alignment. All right, so running inside zone left, 30 is your point. Here's your cog. All right, tackle solo. All right, the left side, or excuse me, the right side line is going to pick it up. All right, so they both end up picking it up with their left foot. All right, put it down, block play side numbers. So those are good fits out of the lock side. Okay, play side should be normal business. Again, this is a 200-pound freshman playing guard just trying to survive, but should have a little bit better footwork. But again, still able to get to his play side gap, ends up blocking the right linebacker, at least giving us a chance. All right. Again, the tackle probably could have taken a little bit less of a step knowing he doesn't have help. But again, this is our aim point that we were talking about, is getting to the midline and then trying to create stretch, which he does initially. And again, this guy being undisciplined, falling off in a C gap or whatever he's doing. But again, giving us a chance to make a play. All right, again, this is your lock side, normal business on the front side. Again, this is the only linebacker on the box. All right, the center's got to do a better job of recognizing that. And again, nothing's there. You got to climb right now. So again, talking about matching the path of the back right now, he's getting too much stretch and chasing the 3 technique. So we end up, out leveraged by the linebacker, but at least get enough of them to get out of dodge there. All right, so 10's your point. All right, we're locked on the backside. Again, with a linebacker, B gap or wider, we should make some sort of slash call to initiate. They're going to get some sort of D-line movement. These guys do a good enough job. Again, this is why I want to step with their inside foot to protect versus any type of inside movement. Those guys are typically better athletes than us. All right, the guard gets color away by the 2-eye. Or excuse me, the center gets color away. Left guard collects. All right, same thing out of 54. So this is good. Tight technique. Footwork's a lot tighter. Aiming point still on the midline. Okay, and again, we're creating this stretch. I think this is 90 that was falling inside earlier on in the same game, which, again, now we're able to create horizontal stretch on this vertical play. And again, now we're able to find a seam. All right, the right guard just does enough to give us an efficient play. All right, here's our point. Okay, we got a call. And again, this is a good job of the center. All right. Right now, there's color here. Is this guy slanting in the A gap? What is this guy doing? Center right now is just going to clean color. Okay, and then he's going to work up. And again, I wish he was blocking the linebacker, but he doesn't end up blocking that guy. All right, but again, initially, a good job. And again, the tackle, wide technique, no help inside. Okay, so now the left tackle is just going to block that near number. Okay, and look to torque that guy out to C gap. Right guard just adds on to the inside zone portion. He should be working to get that play side number. All right, at least stays on it, gives us a chance. And then again, the right tackle, pick it up, put it down, blocking that near number, which is technically the play sign number, and then we'll roll it. All right, so 37 is your point. We're locked on the right side. So again, these 2 guys are going to pick it up, put it down, protect against it, some sort of inside slant, and stay on it. All right, again, we should get a back double team here. All right, so again, is this guy slanting? Who knows? So again, we can either scoop this or we can either try and clean color. These guys end up lifting this up to the double team. Center looks to come off, all right, after the lift. All right, that guy walks away. They stay on it and dump the linebacker. Again, another good job of the back, pressing your aim point and BYOB, fakes outside, gets the linebacker to jump, and then comes back to the front side, and then we'll roll. All right, 3 down. 3 down into the boundary automatically turns into a box declared play. All right, so we're going to point the will. These guys are going to work out to the will. These guys work out to the -1. All right, and then again, we're in a read, so now he's man-to-man here, and then this is your read key. So here, 54 is initially supposed to be working out to that linebacker. Doesn't. Again, they end up pushing the 4-eye. He's technically covered backside, so they can work a combo on the tag. It's all the same shit, right? This is the same exact block as a guard on the 2-eye. All right, again, I think he should be more efficient with his footwork. Eventually gets out to 43, which was the point, and then that's where the back ends up hitting. All right, backside double team with the right guard and center. All right, here, guard pushes, cleans collar, and then works out for the -1 linebacker. All right, 3 down into the boundary. All right, so again, we're going to make it a box clear play, point the widest linebacker in the box. Here's -1, guards uncovered. So tag to here, 1 to the -1. Okay, and then the backside tackle's locked on. We're going to read 34 in this picture. So here, all right, the will ends up, they end up running some sort of switch here between these guys. So tackle collects, guard collects. All right, now we end up working a scoop here. So again, the guard is going to bump off the center. So there's the scoop there. He picks him up. All right, again, the left guard should do a better job of staying on the nose and not running past his aiming point. All right, center's got to lower his pad level a little bit better. All right, but again, we're able to find a crease. I don't know what the running back's doing there. All right, that's all I got. All right, those are all the clips I got. So that's kind of how we teach inside zone and kind of how we go through it. Here's all my contact information. If you guys want to reach out or anything like that, if you guys ever want to come to a practice, feel free. If we, hopefully we're practicing soon. If you guys want to come to a practice, or if you guys ever want to have any Zoom meetings with any of our coaches, I know Coach Val spoke on this before, and I know Coach Robinson's speaking tomorrow. So feel free to reach out to us whenever. But that's all I got. Any questions from any of you guys or about how we run inside zone or anything like that?
Yeah, if you guys have questions, just come right on and ask. One thing I've noticed seeing a lot of these coaches that on the RPOs on the backside, when you're running the peak or the glance, that backside tackle's always in a pass set on that 5 shade. You never fire out and fire into them.
Yeah, we'd like to. Again, I don't think we're teaching it as a pass set. It is a little bit more passive of a block just because we're in a man-to-man scenario. So again, we're not trying to short set it and get run around either. So again, we're picking up, putting it down. We're really worried about that inside movement. Again, that's where the point of attack is. And again, if we step out initially aggressively and then they slant inside, it's tough for us as lesser athletes to be able to plan and redirect and then go block that guy. So if we can pick it up, put it down, and again, once we do that and establish he's a C-gap defender, those guys should be more aggressive and go block that number. Again, that's something that we got to coach better. But again, we're not trying to necessarily use that as a passive block, but the way it happens, it just because I think that step inside makes it that way.
Nice.
Fellas, you are looking at the best defensive line coach in the country. On top of the fact he's Italian.
There you go.
This looks like almost you got to be bald to get in this thing. Great job, Jack. Awesome.
Yeah, great job, man.
That was good
Thanks.
stuff, Coach.
Good to see you, brother.
I got a
Coach
couple.
Goff, you got a question down there?
Yeah, I got a couple for him. So just to confirm, your inside zone game, your running backs aim point essentially is a gap either side.
Yeah, so his initial aim point is going to be the play side leg of the center. And again, we teach those guys that this is an A gap to cut back play, but there are times like you saw, a bunch of times it's going to hit C gap to C gap, right? But the biggest thing is that they should press that aiming point. So there's the clip where the guy rolled off to the front side. That's how we want it to happen. What we don't want to happen is him to aim to the outside initially because now he's on a different path than the offensive line is. So again, it's a tight end where we're trying to make it a downhill physical play, trying to get as many double teams as we can is essentially what we're trying to get to.
Awesome. Have you seen other schemes where it's run a little bit wider? I've never been a zone guy. My old line coach has been lobbying for us to do more of it. I've always been a man I was a 4-year starter at quarterback in college. We didn't run any zone back then either.
Yeah.
So it's something that I'm definitely interested in.
Yeah, we've used a few different aim points. So like at FDU, we changed it where our aiming point was the inside leg of the tackle. So we wanted a little bit wider. Like we felt like we weren't good enough up front. Like we had the 250-pound guard, like 215-pound guard. And then like we didn't have the dudes up front. So we thought that widening out the aiming point would create more horizontal stretch. And again, our blocking didn't change all that much, up front, but it made linebackers move laterally more, which again gave us a little bit better, again, trying to block those guys from the side rather than head up. And then I think it also does a lot where it delivers linebackers to where your double teams are going to. So like there's a lot of times if the two eyes on the front side with a stacked linebacker and that guy falls off backside, now you got to get your center who's trying to block play side gap and then come back to the linebacker who fell backside. Like that's a tough ask. So line out your aiming point, delivers the linebackers to the double team. So there are advantages of changing up your aiming point and stuff like that. Right now at FDU, we feel pretty confident about making it a downhill play, and we have some pretty good backs that are able to make some guys miss as well. So I don't think we're going to change that anytime soon.
Yeah, it looked like a really good play that you guys were running. My other question pertaining to the zone scheme is you see a lot of zone schemes running the pros. Shanahan's are known for it. Mike Shanahan back with the Denver Broncos. His son Kyle's doing it with the Niners now. I noticed when their scheme, a lot of their backside linemen are actually employing the cut block. Is that something that you guys do there as well?
So we haven't done that. We'll do that on outside zone. So on outside zone, we're trying to stretch and puncture. So if we can cut off the backside, then we're good. Now on inside zone, we won't do that. To us, it's an A gap to cut back play. So if we cut the backside, we're creating a clusterfuck at the aiming point. So we don't want to do that on inside zone.
Cool. Thank you. My last question is just from a workload standpoint. You guys are Division III school. How many hours a week are you guys putting in as coaches there, and how many hours per day? And it's probably obviously a little bit different once you're in season and off season.
Yeah, you like how often are the coaches in?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have like 8 guys that are full time. So I mean, in season we're there 7 days a week for 10-hour days probably. Right. So I mean we're there forever. We live in the building.
Off season?
Off season is a little bit different. So we're probably not there as much in terms of hours. We're still there every day just because during the week we have normal like lifting and player meetings, things like that. But then on the weekends we have recruiting visits. So we're still in there every single day. We're just there for a little bit less hours, but we're still grinding.
And to the coaches on the panel, I know Coach Hath, you're a teacher there at Levitt. In terms of workload, what you and your coaches are putting in, what's it look like?
It's a lot. Yeah, I mean, Skip's been at it a while too. He would know as well as anybody, but pretty much you're working from right after school until I would say 9 to 10. Most nights, at least as the head coach, and probably my top 3 or 4 guys that are coordinating, or my line coach, like those guys are, it's the same. So I feel like it's I don't know, maybe a 40-hour week, I think, just on the coaching stuff, between the film watch and the communication and the practice time and whatnot. I don't know. What do you think, Coach?
I would say exactly the same thing. I mean, it's obviously, I think the advent of technology certainly has made it more convenient as coaches, as opposed to all of us having to meet together. Even when I was at Bates, we could do a lot. I could bring a lot of stuff home, like where I'm sitting right now, and look at video, put game plan stuff together. So I went into the office on Monday, we'd be ready to go. Now it's kind of the same thing. I start looking at tape on Saturday morning, and start diagnosing. Obviously, I've got everything in huddle, so I'll look at my next opponent on when I work into my schedule on Saturday. We'll meet on Sunday, go back home, and I'll still look at tape and have the game plan ready for Monday. Kind of tentative. We'll talk about it again and then we start install on Tuesday, but you're still going back and looking for stuff. And I really think, my opinion, I want to stop looking at video Tuesday morning. If I don't have, because our Tuesday's usually a defensive practice, I'm not going to make a bunch of changes on Thursday. That's me. You know, I want to get it done. That's what we got. Boom. I'm not going to go back and look at a game 15 freaking times. That's just, I think I look at it once, you know, as many times as I have to, and then put a game plan together.
Yeah, we watch our tape Friday night and after the game, and then Saturday we start watching the opponent. Sunday we kind of talk a little bit and watch some more, and then we meet Sunday night. And then we do, you know, our initial install with the kids on Monday, but I would say we still watch quite a bit of film Monday night. But then by Tuesday's practice, any adjustments that are made at that point aren't based on the film. They're based on what you see in practice. You know, like we have an offense period Tuesday and we don't like something, we throw it out. Or, you know, Tuesday, if we see a formation adjustment we don't like, we might tweak it. But, you know, you want to walk into practice Wednesday and really nothing's going to change. We have a big staff too. Like, I'm going to do my presentation, I think, on Thursday on kind of how we operate our staff. But we have two guys that always work a week ahead. So, like, I have two coaches that they're not necessarily at practice every day. One of them on the offensive side of the ball and one on the defensive side of the ball, but they're always breaking down the team that we're playing 2 weeks ahead instead of the current week. So that's pretty, you know, one of them is Mike Marston. You guys who know Mike. So it's Mike in Bill County. So, you know, he's talking to.
Which ways he got to turn his head now? Yeah, this one, which eyes are working?
He's got glasses now. He finally broke down and got it. So he sees a lot better now. But yeah, those guys working ahead probably, you know, cuts it down a little bit what we gotta do. But yeah, I would say that pretty much every night of the week it's, you know, you're going till 10 o'clock probably with stuff.
Definitely. And coach at UNE, you guys play your games on Saturday?